If you're looking to add a little fun to the family dinner table, these chicken empanadas are a really delicious way to do it. Homemade empanadas might look hard, but we're gonna cover all kinds of tips and tricks for stuffing and folding. I promise you it's easier than you think. So we're gonna start with the filling and then we'll move on to the hard part. We're gonna kick off the ingredient list with 2 cooked boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm actually using the chicken breast from a store-bought rotisserie chicken because I wanted to make homemade pie crust. And I really feel like for dinner time, you want to keep that workload as simple as you possibly can. Make life easy on mom. Now, when it comes to the chicken, you do not need the skin. So I'm just ditching the skin. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in and we're gonna slice the chicken into 1-inch strips. The reason we're not diving straight into shredding is because your empanadas aren't that big. So you really want the shreds of the chicken to be a little bit smaller so that they can fit perfectly inside those little dough rounds. One of the big reasons I really wasn't that worried about using store-bought rotisserie chicken is because we're gonna add a lot of great flavor into this filling with some really simple ingredients. The first thing we're gonna add is 2 cans of diced green chilies. Just gonna add these straight to the bowl. The next ingredient, freshly grated Monterey Jack cheese. Please, please, please do not buy pre-shredded cheese. The texture and flavor of freshly grated cheese is incomparable. So creamy, so delicious. Just add the cheese right to the bowl. Let's start getting this mixed up and then we'll add in the spices. Okay, there's an adequate mess all over the counter. No surprise there. Now we're gonna bring in some cumin. Texans love cumin, just can't get enough. We're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin straight to the bowl. Next, going in about 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt and just a nice little pinch of black pepper. Mix again. And just so we're clear, this filling would also work for quesadillas and or enchiladas. If your kids are picky about green stuff being in their food or you're worried about spice, you can leave out the green chilies altogether. And one more word, you can get hot green chilies and you can get mild green chilies at the grocery store. These are mild. Here I have my easy to make food processor pie crust. I'm going to link to that recipe somewhere up here. For now, we're going to add some flour down to our work surface. Just get it nice and dusted. Have you noticed that I always wear puffy sleeves when we're gonna roll out dough every time? We'll see how this goes. Okay, pie crust down. Roll up those puffy sleeves. And then we're just gonna dust the top. We're just gonna roll this out. And every time we do a little roll, we're gonna move the dough on the board. And that's gonna help it to keep from sticking. So like, roll it out, turn it a quarter, roll it out, turn it a quarter. Just keep going, just like that. You can stop rolling once your dough is looking about 1/4 inch thick. You don't wanna roll it too thin because we're actually gonna have to roll it again. Now you're just gonna come in with your little round biscuit cutter. This one is about 2.5 inches in diameter. And we're just gonna start cutting out our little circles here and setting them off to the side. We're gonna come back and roll the dough again when it's time to assemble, but first let's go ahead and get the egg wash out of the way. This is like the easiest thing you will ever make in the kitchen. Just crack, just crack into an egg as horrible as you possibly can. Can't be a professional all the time, okay. And then we're going to add about a tablespoon of water and whisk it up really good. Okay, so here we go, assembly time. You've got your cute little round here and we're just gonna roll this out a little more. We're just rolling this out so it's about 3 inches in diameter. I think that's good. You're just trying to flatten it out a little bit more, not too much. Now we're gonna come in with our egg wash and we're gonna just give it a nice little brush along the edge. I admittedly have a very hard time not overfilling empanadas. I just can't seem to help myself, but I'm gonna try to really keep myself in line for you guys. So you add like a tablespoon, maybe a generous tablespoon of filling. And then what we wanna do is I bring mine and I just bring it upward and we're just trying to pinch these edges up and around the filling. And now for that really pretty empanada braid, here's what you'll do. You wanna start bringing it over, just continue folding over, just like this. Use your thumb, and then just bring that dough right over your thumb. I don't want y'all to feel like you have to run out and buy tools to make this recipe. I wanted you to be able to knock it out with the bare minimum. But if you want to speed along the process, there are a few things that will help you get these empanadas knocked out of the way even faster. So the first is a little bitty rolling pin. And I just come in and just push out the edges. Just like with the big one, you just have a little more control. Next, a little pastry brush will help to get those edges smoothed out without having to dirty up your fingers. And then if you have a small cookie scoop, not the big cookie scoop, the small cookie scoop, you can come in and add just that little dollop of filling to the center. And your hands stay pretty clean this way. And then you'll just bring up those edges and fold up just like we were doing before. One full tray of empanadas done. What I'm gonna do is just brush these really lightly all over with the egg wash. Every single one, get them nice and shiny and golden while they're baking in the oven. These are all ready for the oven. They're gonna go in at 400 degrees for 20 to 22 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to roll out and fill my second set of pastry dough. Just finished up with the second round here. Timer has just gone off. Let me show you how amazing these look. Look, they're so perfect and puffy. Gonna set them aside for like 10 minutes and get these in the oven. Cannot wait any longer. Gonna go ahead and get this first batch plated. They are absolute perfection. And I'm gonna tell y'all that store-bought pie crust does not bake up the same. This is gonna be tender, more flaky. It's gonna taste butterier. Makes all the difference. They're cool enough to where I think it's okay to taste now. I've got a little sour cream dip over here with cilantro and lime. It's just the perfect combination of flavors. The pie crust with that chicken and the cheese and the green chilies and the cumin, and all of it comes together, and it's just like a little bitty miracle going on in your mouth. It's so good. If y'all are in the hunt for more delicious recipes like this one, be sure to check out my playlist full of Tex-Mex and Mexican goodies next.